The James Webb Telescope gave us the clearest look at Proxima B ever. It's pretty cool because it might be a place where life could exist outside our solar system. Let's check it out and see if it could be like Earth. So, there's this planet, Proxima B, hanging out in the zone where it could possibly have water, orbiting a star called Proxima Centauri. It's only 4.2 light-years away, which isn't that far when you're talking about space. Could it have oceans and maybe even life? But wait, Proxima Centauri B isn't alone. There's also Proxima Centauri C, and who knows what else is hanging around in that star system. Maybe there's another planet we haven't found yet. Proxima Centauri gives off about the same amount of energy as the Sun does to Earth. Could that mean there's water and life on Proxima B? When we look past our own solar system, we see all sorts of planets orbiting other stars. With billions of stars out there, there are tons of planets to find. Some of them don't even orbit a star, they just float around in space. Proxima Centauri B is a really interesting one. A year there is only 112 Earth days, and it's closer to its star than Earth is to the Sun. One side of the planet is always in sunlight, and the other is always dark. Now, Proxima Centauri is part of a triple star system called Alpha Centauri. It has two other stars, Alpha Centauri A and B. They're the closest star system to us. Alpha Centauri A and B look like one star and are pretty bright in the night sky. Proxima Centauri, or Alpha Centauri C, is a red dwarf star way farther away from the other two. It's the closest star to us, which is why it's called Proxima. You can't see it without a telescope, but it's worth checking out. Red dwarf stars like Proxima Centauri use energy really well. They don't give off a ton of energy, but they can keep shining for trillions of years. Proxima Centauri will probably be around for another 4 trillion years. But whether a planet around a red dwarf can have life is still up for debate. For one, Proxima Centauri is a flare star, meaning it has a lot of explosions. Also, its habitable zone is much closer than the Sun's. Proxima B gets hit with a lot of ultraviolet radiation from its star, even more than we get from the Sun. It's so strong that it strips away hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. Just because a planet is the right distance from its star doesn't mean it can support life. Proxima B might not have a stable atmosphere, which is super important for keeping the temperature right and having liquid water. Without it, any living things would be in trouble. So, even if Proxima B looks like Earth, it's probably not able to support life. Scientists are still cautious because there are many things that make it not so friendly to life. The mission to find out the truth about Proxima B is ongoing, and some people are still hopeful. The James Webb Telescope is really important to astronomers. It was launched in 2018 and will help us see if there's life on Proxima B. But science is never easy. They had to make a bunch of changes to make sure the telescope takes good pictures. Abby Tabor, a physicist, says that if Proxima B can take in light from its star, it can also send it out as infrared light. The James Webb Telescope can see infrared light and might be able to find patterns that show there's water or an atmosphere. But Ed Turner, an astrophysicist, says that just because a planet has an atmosphere doesn't mean there's life. Proxima B could be like Venus, with a super thick atmosphere and crazy temperatures that would make life impossible. It's hard work to figure out Proxima B, and scientists are trying to find ways to look at planets like Proxima B, and what matters most, the chance to find life on another planet is worth it. If the exoplanet was able to have life, could we go there one day? It's the closest one to us, so it's cool to think about. It's about the same size as Earth, and it's in the habitable zone, so it might have the right conditions for life. Proxima B is close, so it's a good place to look for life. Someday, we might even send a mission there. Even though we can't go yet, it's something people are thinking about for the future. It's one of the most exciting things happening in space exploration. But it's not easy to get there. It would take Voyager 2 about 75,000 years to reach the Proxima Centauri system. Someone came up with the idea of using solar sails. These super thin sails could push a spacecraft using solar pressure, so it wouldn't run out of fuel. This tech could tell us if there's life on other planets like Proxima B. But like anything that's a big deal, there are problems. An atmosphere doesn't always mean there's life. Proxima B could be like Venus, with a hot, thick mess. The James Webb Telescope can see missions if they're only 5% as bright as the daytime side. That might not sound like a lot, but when you're dealing with a star that's not as bright as the Sun, it's important. If Proxima B has smart aliens, they might be using mirrors to reflect sunlight. There are tons of exoplanets waiting to be found out there. They're all different sizes and shapes. Some are huge gas planets, and some are like Earth. One kind of exoplanet that scientists are interested in is gas giants. They're similar to Jupiter and Saturn, but way bigger. Some of them are called super Jupiters. There are also hot Jupiters, which are gas giants that orbit super close to their stars and are crazy hot. Besides gas giants, there are also Neptune-like exoplanets. Some of them are hot Neptunes or small Neptunes, which are smaller and closer to their stars. It's hard to study their atmospheres from far away. And then there are the Earth-like exoplanets, which are about the same size as Earth. Some of them are super-Earths, which are bigger than Earth but smaller than Neptune. Proxima Centauri b is a super-Earth that orbits the star Proxima Centauri. It's close to its star, but not quite in the habitable zone. Proxima Centauri b also has a friend Proxima Centauri c, which is farther away. It takes about 5 Earth years to orbit its star. It looks like it might be really bright, maybe because it has rings. In 2019, scientists saw a change in the star's orbital speed, which might mean there's another planet there. If it's real, it'll be called Proxima Centauri d and will be about the size of Mercury or Mars. Imagine if the night sky had tons of stars and planets, all with different things going on. The universe is full of surprises, and exoplanets are one of them. We don't know exactly how many exoplanets there are, but we know they're out there. But it's hard to study them because they're hidden by the light of their stars. But with better technology, we can take pictures of them directly. To get a good picture, the exoplanet has to be big enough, far enough away from its star, and young enough to be hot and visible from Earth. Most of the time, we find exoplanets by seeing how they affect their stars. The gravity of an exoplanet can make its star wobble. The Kepler Space Telescope used the transit method, which looks at how much a star's light dims when an exoplanet passes in front of it. This tells us about the exoplanet's size, distance, and temperature. Did you know that over 22% of stars like the Sun have Earth-sized planets in their habitable zones? Or that TRAPPIST-1 has 7 rocky exoplanets with water. Exoplanets can also have moons, called exomoons. We've found over 4,000 exoplanets so far, so we know they're everywhere. Hot Jupiters are the easiest to find because they're big and spin fast. NASA's James Webb Space Telescope is showing us a lot about the universe. It's been taking amazing pictures and collecting data. It found carbon dioxide in the atmosphere of a planet outside our solar system. This tells us about the planet's composition and how it formed. Bill Nelson, the head of NASA, said that this discovery will give us a different idea of the universe. The James Webb Space Telescope has also been taking pictures of the universe in infrared. It's helping us study how ice forms and is even looking at the inner parts of dusty disks around red dwarf stars. Could it have oceans and maybe even life? Well, it's not alone. It's got a buddy, Proxima Centauri c, orbiting the same red dwarf star. Who knows what other stuff is hanging out there? Now, Proxima Centauri puts out about the same energy as Earth gets from the Sun. Could that mean there's water on the surface? Maybe even life? When we look beyond our solar system, there's a whole universe of exoplanets, planets circling other stars. With 200 billion stars out there, the possibilities are endless. Some planets even float around without a star to orbit. But Proxima Centauri b is a standout. A year there is only 112 Earth days long, and it's way closer to its star than Earth is to the Sun. One side is always sunny, and the other is always dark. Let's talk about Proxima Centauri, the star Proxima b orbits. It's part of the Alpha Centauri triple star system, including Alpha Centauri A and B. These two stars look like one star from Earth and are pretty bright in the night sky. Proxima Centauri, or Alpha Centauri c, is a red dwarf star. It's about 4 times the distance between Earth and the Sun from the other two stars, making it our closest star. Proxima means closest in Latin. Even though it's our neighbor, you can't see it without a telescope. Red dwarfs like Proxima Centauri are good with energy. They don't make a ton, but they can keep shining for trillions of years. Proxima Centauri will be a main sequence star for another 4 trillion years. Whether a red dwarf star can support life is still up in the air. It's a flare star, which means it has lots of explosions. Its habitable zone is also closer than the Sun's. Proxima B gets blasted with way more ultraviolet radiation than we get from the Sun because of this. That's not the only hurdle either. Being the right distance from its star doesn't automatically mean a planet can support life. Proxima B might not have a stable atmosphere to keep the temperature right and keep water around. Without that, any creatures would be in trouble. So, even if Proxima B looks Earth-like, it might not be livable. Scientists are still figuring things out. That's where the James Webb Telescope comes in. Launched in 2018, it's supposed to help us figure out if there's life on Proxima B. But science is never simple. The telescope needed some tweaks to get accurate images. Abby Tabor at Harvard says that if Proxima B can absorb light, it can also send it out as infrared light. The James Webb Telescope can pick up that light and look for signs of water or an atmosphere. Ed Turner at Princeton says even if there's an atmosphere, it might not be right for life. Proxima B could be like Venus, with a super thick atmosphere and crazy temperatures. It is a challenge to get to the bottom of things. With limited funds, scientists are pressured to find ways to check out planets like Proxima B. It's a big deal. The chance to explore a planet that might have life makes it worth it. If it turns out to be livable, we might even go there someday. It's the closest one to us, so it's like exploring our backyard. Plus, it's about the same size as Earth, and it's in the habitable zone. Because it's so close, it's a good target for interstellar missions. We can't go yet, but it's on the list for future missions as technology gets better. It's not easy though. Voyager 2 would take 75,000 years to get to Proxima Centauri. One idea is solar sails. These sails could push a spacecraft to the Alpha Centauri system using sunlight, so we wouldn't have to worry about fuel. This tech could tell us a lot about whether there's life on other planets like Proxima B. Of course, there are some challenges and some limits. For instance, the atmosphere doesn't promise a good place to live. Also, the James Webb Telescope can only pick up emissions if they're 5% as bright as the daytime side of the planet. 5% might not sound like a lot, but it is when you're talking about a star that's dimmer than the Sun. Who knows, maybe there are smart aliens that may use bright orbital mirrors to reflect sunlight from the daytime side to the nighttime side. There are tons of exoplanets waiting to be discovered. Some are big gas giants, and some are more like Earth. What do we know about them? Gas giants are like Jupiter and Saturn, but bigger. Some are called super Jupiters. Then there are hot Jupiters, gas giants really close to their stars. They're super hot. There are also Neptunian exoplanets, similar to Uranus and Neptune. Hot Neptunes and small Neptunes are tinier and closer to their stars. It's hard to study their atmospheres from far away. And, of course, there are Earth-like exoplanets. Some are smaller than Earth, and some are bigger. Super-Earths are heavier than Earth but lighter than Neptune. Proxima Centauri B is a super-Earth. It's close to its star, but it might still be a bit too far away to be in the habitable zone. Plus, Proxima Centauri B has a buddy, Proxima Centauri C. It takes about 5 Earth years to orbit its star. It looks like it might be super bright, maybe because it has a ring system. In 2019, scientists saw a change in the star's speed, which could mean there's another planet there. If it's real, they'll call it Proxima Centauri D, and it'll be about the size of Mercury or Mars. Imagine having a night sky full of stars and tons of planets. The universe is full of surprises. It is exciting to be a space scientist. We don't know exactly how many exoplanets there are, but we know there are a lot. It is challenging because they get blocked by the light from their stars. But with new technology, we can take direct images of them. The planet needs to be big enough, far enough away from its star, and young enough to be hot and visible from Earth. It's not a lot, but they give us a peek at these far-off worlds. Most of the time, we find exoplanets by the way they mess with their stars. The gravity from a planet can make a star wobble. The Kepler Space Telescope looked for when a planet passed in front of a star, dimming the light. This told us about the planet's size, distance, and temperature. Here are some fun facts. Over 22% of stars like the Sun have Earth-sized planets in their habitable zones. TRAPPIST-1 has 7 rocky exoplanets with water on their surfaces. Exoplanets can have moons. There are over 4,000 exoplanets that we know of, and a countless more remain to be. The James Webb Space Telescope is showing us incredible things. It's been capturing data and images of the unknown. It just gave us the first solid proof of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere of a planet outside our solar system that could shift our whole view of universe. Bill Nelson at NASA said this could give us a perspective that we've never seen before, which is an exciting thing. The Space Telescope has also captured images and info about the light from a young object. The orange spots behind the wispy cloud confirm light from faraway stars blocked by the ice. This is part of a project to study ice. The James Webb Space Telescope also imaged the inner workings of a dusty disk around the red dwarf star.